passionate, driven, enthusiastic, euphoric. This is who we are as entrepreneurs. But how we leverage these incredible attributes to dream and build businesses that scale and grow is what this podcast is all about. Hello, I'm attorneypreneur Josh Brown, and welcome to Franchise Euphoria. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Franchise Euphoria. Josh Brown here. And before we get to the actual interview today, I wanted to tell you about something I've been working on for the last probably 2+ years. As many of you know, I'm a franchise attorney, and I spend a lot of time helping people buy great franchise systems, or what I hope will become a great franchise system. And to that end, I spent a lot of time reviewing the legal documents, what's called the franchise disclosure documents, that every franchisor is required to provide to prospective franchisees. Well, over the years, I've realized a lot of really important elements of each and every franchise disclosure document, what's included, what sometimes is not included, questions to then take back to your franchisor, red flags, and perhaps most importantly, a breakdown of what these complicated legal documents actually say in an understandable format. Now, what I've done with that is I've created a guide and audio series. It's called A Lawyer's Guide to Buying a Great Franchise. And it comes with about a 50-page nice PDF that breaks down every aspect of the franchise disclosure document, and also comes with audio case studies that further breaks down some of the more important elements of the FDD. Now, of course, if you want to check that out, and I would love for you to do so, just head over to indyfranchiselaw.com/guide. That's indyfranchiselaw.com/guide. And of course, I'd be remiss without saying that this is not a substitute, nor is it legal services. It is an educational guide, but I really think it's going to help you along your journey in finding the franchise that's right for you. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Franchise Euphoria. Josh Brown here, and thrilled to be back. Today, we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and I really enjoy speaking with people about. And that is 4 tips to help franchisors grow their business. Are you a business owner who's recently entered the franchise space, or are you a business owner with a goal of franchising your business in the near future? If so, this episode is for you. I talk a lot on this podcast about how to scale and grow your business. Some of these ideas apply whether you are a small business owner, a new franchisee, or a franchisor. But today's podcast is designed specifically for franchisors or potential franchisors who want to know how they can grow their system. For franchisors, growing your system can pose unique challenges. For example, many of the new franchisors I talk with have generally been very successful in their role as small business owners. However, operating a franchise system is a completely different ballgame. When you become a franchisor, you are in charge of the whole system, which includes all of the individual franchises that operate within your system. This means that instead of running one location, you are supervising franchisees as they run and operate multiple locations that can span across cities, states, regions, or even countries. You're also responsible for defining territories for future franchise locations and identifying, selecting, and training new franchisees. Making this transition can sometimes be difficult for new franchisors. It becomes even more complicated when new franchisors begin to think about how they can grow their business. So here are my 4 tips on how to grow your franchise system. Number 1, understand the importance of geography. Number 2, develop a plan to train franchisees. Number 3, know the difference between marketing a business and marketing a franchise system. And number 4, fill a need in the market. So let's take a closer look at each of these tips. Number 1, understanding the importance of geography. We all know the importance of location, but location becomes even more important when you're a franchisor. We aren't just talking about one location. Now, in most cases, you play a role in figuring out the location of each and every franchise within your system. Therefore, you need to be focusing not only on location, but also on geography. One problem that new franchisors face is deciding where to open new locations. For example, say a small business owner in Indiana converts his business to a franchise. Now someone approaches him and wants to open a location in Arizona. The new franchisor may think that this sounds like an awesome opportunity to grow the franchise system, but I tend to disagree. I believe that the best practice is to dominate the 100-mile radius around your original location first. This way you can be close by to help franchisees if they encounter problems, which will inevitably save you time and money. Once you have successful franchise locations, quote, in your own backyard, you can focus on expanding outward. But beyond this, franchisors really need to have a clear understanding of the geographic parameters for new locations and territories. What geographic features have helped to make your location successful? What is the population density, access to major highways, or something else altogether? Once you have your parameters in mind, sit down and map out territories that will help your franchise system grow in a smart and well-organized manner. Number 2, develop a plan to train franchisees. Have you ever worked for an employer that was disorganized, offered little to no training, and where it seemed like no one knew what was going on? If so, you know how frustrating that situation can be. Don't let your franchise system operate in that manner. As a new franchisor, you should really spend a lot of time planning exactly how your training or onboarding program will operate. While an operation manual can be a training tool and contain answers to franchisees' questions, it usually isn't enough to help franchisees understand all of the different aspects of the business perfectly. Implementing proper training programs helps fill this gap and get your new franchisees off on the right foot. Remember, as a business owner, you've had the opportunity to learn from your mistakes and grow. So what can you do that will help new franchisees avoid making these costly mistakes while also empowering them with the knowledge that you have learned from your years of experience? Keep in mind that while new franchisees probably have prior business experience of their own, they may not know specifically how you do things within your business. If developing a training plan isn't one of your strengths, there are third parties that offer a range of products and services at various price points that can help. Also, don't be afraid to talk to your current employees. They usually hold useful insights on the most efficient ways to get things done and maybe remember things that you have forgotten. Number 3, know the difference between marketing a business and marketing a franchise system. If you've moved into the franchise space, you've probably got a good grasp of how to market your business. But how are you marketing your franchise system? In reality, marketing your business is different than marketing your franchise system. With your business, your marketing strategy is focused on getting people from your target market to purchase your products or services. In marketing your franchise system, you're targeting potential franchisees who will invest in your system and open new locations. With that in mind, develop a strategy to help you identify your ideal franchisee. What qualifications do they need? What educational background or relevant business experience should they have? What about financial resources? What else do they have to bring to the table to make you feel confident that they can successfully operate a franchise location? Don't feel like you need to say yes to everyone who expresses an interest in your franchise system. It is usually better to wait and find great franchisees, especially in the beginning when you're just growing your franchise system. Your first set of franchisees will help establish the foundation of your system, so choose wisely. Number 4, fill in a need in the market. Finally, one of the keys to growing a successful franchise system is to fill a need in the marketplace. As a franchisor, you need to have a keen understanding of this idea and use it to benefit your franchise system. The first step is understanding your market competition. If you've been in your field or industry for a long time, you probably already have some idea of what is out there. But markets are constantly changing with advances in technology, changes in laws, or new trends. Be sure you have a clear understanding of the developments that have occurred in the past, that are occurring right now, and that may occur in the future. After you've analyzed your competition, figure out how you can differentiate your franchise system in a way that your consumers will appreciate. As an example, I interviewed Matt Fry of Bub's Burgers and Ice Cream, home of the Big Ugly Burger, on the Franchise Euphoria podcast. During our interview, Matt talked about how focusing on 5 key elements has helped make his business stand out from the crowd. So what is it that makes your franchise unique? What is it that makes your business stick out? How do these attributes help you fill a void in the market that your competition isn't filling? Use these features to help you grow your system. Ultimately, growing your franchise system will take a lot of hard work, time, and planning. However, it is much better to invest in laying a stronger foundation for growth early on in the process than to deal with big problems down the road. As always, if you found this podcast helpful, I invite you to check out our blog and our other podcast episodes and visit us at indyfranchiselaw.com. Until next time, happy franchising. If any of the information you heard today you found meaningful, helpful, head on over to indyfranchiselaw.com. That's INDY franchiselaw.com. I've got a couple really cool white papers. One is what to know before you franchise your business. So if you're out there thinking about franchising your business and found today's episode helpful, go ahead to indyfranchiselaw.com and check out that free resource. Additionally, if you're thinking about buying a franchise, I've got a great resource on what to know before you buy a franchise. So head on over to indyfranchiselaw.com, INDY franchiselaw.com.
Thanks for being with us today on the Franchise Euphoria podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go to iTunes and provide a review. Also, please remember that although Josh Brown is a licensed and practicing attorney, nothing contained in this podcast should be construed as legal advice, because it is not. The information contained in this podcast is general and educational in nature, and none of it should be relied upon as legal advice. That being said, if you have questions for Josh and would like to contact him, please email him at josh@franchiseeuphoria.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you tune in to our next weekly episode.